started off in Memphis, Tennessee, and I went to the museum where that's set in the location of the hotel where Martin Luther King was assassinated. And so I toured the museum. But, a chilling moment was when I looked out the window by where his hotel room was, his specific room, and you can see the spot on the ground where he laid and died, and it gave me shivers. And then you can look across the street to the hotel where his assassin was, and I got to tour that and see and learn how the media gave away his location. It was so easy to find him, and think about how security has changed for people in today's times. From Memphis, I went to Washington, D.C., and toured as much as I could in the days that I was there. At one of the Smithsonian's, I was able to see a role play of how they trained people to do a peaceful protest or a sit-in at a lunch counter. And that made me think of Clara Luper and how her 8-year-old daughter convinced her to start something like that in Oklahoma, and how that happened 2 years before the big famous one that's represented there at the Smithsonian. After Washington, D.C., then I went to I went to Charleston, South Carolina, and learned a lot about the civil rights and how slavery took place, and toured plantations, and a slave museum that was there that was in an old slave market. I heard stories about things that slaves would be forced to do. I saw how tiny the slave houses were, or if you wanted to call it a house, maybe a shack, and learned that people lived in those until the 1990s. And then driving neighborhoods, seeing houses that looked almost exactly like it, and I'm thinking, are those still slave quarters that people are living in? And then from there I went to Birmingham, Alabama, and toured the Civil Rights Institute that's there, and walked through Kelly Ingram Park, where thousands of children were arrested in a peaceful protest, and saw the 16th Street Baptist Church where 4 children died in a bombing, and then from there I made my way back home. I received a grant from Funds for Teachers, and the grant fully funded my trip to travel to those sites, and the teachers who receive those grants are able to travel pretty much any place in the world and to learn something that they would not have known without living through those experiences. And it's more of a cultural immersion type thing.